prophetic life. And I'm sure many, but I know not maybe around, we've known better. When you hear the prophetic life, in some circles, what you expect to hear is a seer. Somebody who can give you, the gift of the word of knowledge, the gift of the word of prophecy, the gift of word of wisdom, discernment of spirit. Somebody will tell you, oh, I see an angel, there's a spirit. When you hear prophetic, there's a way he paints that picture. How many of us have been swayed by that? We all love it. We love it. When our birthday, we always want tongues and interpretation. We always want somebody to give you a word. You always like the spectacular, and you like the supernatural. We all love it. I like it too. I like to be told a word on my birthday. But I know that is not a prophetic. That I got a word, and I give you a word of prophecy through gifts of the Spirit. It doesn't mean I'm prophetic. In fact, our interpretation of who prophets are is actually a very carnal definition of who prophets are. We have a very, that carnal definition. Can I shock us, church? Can I shock us, God's people? That definition is not different from our mindset of Dibia, Babalawo. You go and meet Osoyin, and there's one Babalawo. It's still part of the thing that came with us. It came with us, and we just feel that if anybody can tell you something, somebody can tell you something automatically about you, automatically the person is prophetic. And many of us, we just answer. And that's why, many believers in quotes that they say they are scammed. So they are walking down the road. Somebody say, your parent, one woman is the one doing you. And then you give attention, By giving attention, that attention is not because you hurt them. That attention because the heart turned to, you are swayed, come under their guise. And there's something about the prophetic, about, those kind of a thing. There's a way it can be a snare. Am I saying there are no gifts of the Spirit? There are. We have them evident in our midst. We have tongues and prophecy. Tongues and interpretation is equal to prophecy. We also have prophecy. We have discernment of spirit. We have word of knowledge. We have some of these gifts. Actually, gifts of the Spirit also work with the gifts of Christ in ministry. We have them. We love them. And we are persuaded that the Lord is going to bring much more for the church in the days to come. But we know that is not the prophetic. So, because there have been prophets before the prophets that we know. We all know Prophet Elijah. But you know that Abraham was a prophet. How do I know? Somebody say, how do I know? It's in scriptures. When Abimelech took his wife, and the Lord came to accost Abimelech, he said, you have carried the wife of a prophet. And if that's God's testament of Abraham, so I believe it. So what was God's yardstick of calling Abraham a prophet? What was God looking? What did he give word of knowledge to Lot? He didn't. Even when he was going to say, look, he didn't say, Lot, oh Lord, don't go to Sodom and Gomorrah for perish. He could have said that if it was based on that. But it was not there. It is accounted on. He doesn't even have word of wisdom. Because Hebrew captured that he walked not knowing where he was living in tents. So it's not because he had an information. The same thing. David was also told to be a prophet. Acts chapter 2. Peter's testimony. He said, and of David, who is a prophet? God's people, the prophetic life is not the gift of the Spirit. Is not the gift of the Spirit. It's obviously not about the giftings of the Spirit. I acknowledge the office of a prophet. I acknowledge the gifts, but it is not what we are talking about here, okay? Now, when we look at the theme, Revelations chapter 22. I think we can start from there. He says, then said unto me. So we know what happened, you know. He says, so see thou do it not. John was about to do what? To bow down for the angel that showed him the revelation. He says, for I am your fellow what? Servant. That's why I say fellow bond servant. Because some translation actually calls it fellow bond servants. And he says, and of thy brethren the what? The prophets. And of them that which what? Keep the sayings of the book. So the prophet here means that for you to qualify to actually be a prophet, you must be a company called fellow servants. Can we read that again? It says, I am thy fellow servant and of, that is, this fellow servantship is from what is called the brethren. You must be this before you can say you are a prophet.